the A chord. In order to do this page, you'll need to know 4 chords. It's going to be C chord, D, G, and A. Let's review all of them, okay? So I'm going to use my whiteboard here, and I'm going to draw these chords, 4 chords, starting with marking the grand staff. Oops. Then we have a treble clef, we have a bass clef. Okay, remember our chords will be written in 2 clefs, in the treble clef and the bass clef. You need to recognize them in both clefs, and also you need to recognize them in blocked and broken position. So we'll start with the C chord first, and let's start with the treble clef. So the blocked C chord looks like that. You're going to have C on the bottom, C, E, G, and the broken version of the same chord. I'll have to write the notes a little bit slanted to the right, just like you would play. You would play 3 of them together like that. I'll play that for you. That's a broken, blocked chord. Broken, it's when you're playing like that. Okay, 1 note at a time versus all 3 together. All right, so let's go ahead and do the C chord in the bass clef. This is the blocked version, C chord, and broken, okay? So that's the C chord you need to remember in order to do this page in your theory book. The next chord, let's do the D chord, okay? So D, blocked, looks like that. It's like a vertical line. Make sure the notes are stacked together, and we need to remember to put a sharp. Remember, D major chord has a sharp, and the broken version of it will be similar to what we did with the C chord, like that. And do remember to put the sharp in there. That's your broken D chord in the treble clef. Bass clef, the same thing. Blocked with a sharp, broken. Okay, so that's your D chord. Let's mark it double bar here, like that. Not the greatest, but I think you get the idea. Okay, let's move on. Grand staff. That's a little better, maybe. Treble clef, bass clef. Okay, the next one will be the G chord. G chord. So that's my blocked version of the G chord, and then broken. Again, it's in the treble clef. That's how it looks. Okay, do pay attention to the bottom note. Sometimes in this task they might reverse it. They might do starting with the D and going backwards, right? Sort of looking like that. Like that. So you'll need to find the bottom note. Okay, well, the bass clef would be, again, in the bass clef there are 2 kind of possibilities here. They might use a low version of the, so this is a G note, right? So but it's a lower G, so they can use this one, or like that, a little bit higher, so you'll need that higher D note. So it could be both. So let's do the broken version of the first one. So G, B, D, and this one G, B, D, in 2 different places. All right, so let me erase this one. So the next one here, you'll need to use your A chord, and no matter of fact, the name of the page, the A chord. So that kind of the new information here, right? So the A here, again, you can see the blocked version of it with the C sharp. Remember the C sharp? Okay. And then here you'll have this one, right, with the C sharp. You can also kind of have a little bit higher version, but I don't think so. We haven't really worked on that high E, but it's a possibility here, right? The C sharp. All right, so let's do the broken version. Again, A, C sharp. Try never to forget the C sharps. And then here we might have this one. Probably you'll have that one. but you could have a higher version of it, right? It's the same thing, it's just an octave higher, okay? So this is what you'll need to know in order to do this page. So you might want to pause this video to kind of study it, okay? Let's get to our book. Again, so just follow the Peter Pan. So I guess we start here. And we'll just need to either recognize the chord. Well, actually in here we don't need to write the chord, we just need to recognize it, okay? Or recognize the scale too. All right, so I made a copy so I can write here. So let's look, which one is this? This one is, the bottom note is A, so it must be the A chord. Recognize that C sharp, okay. Then we'll follow the dotted line here, and we come to this scale. Okay, we kind of talked mostly about the chords, but this is actually a scale. What you need to do here, you just need to go ahead and find the bottom note. So you have D, C, B, A, G. So the bottom note is G note, and you can see that it's a scale, so it must be a G scale. It's a G scale. Okay, let's go on along the line. Here we have, again, was the bottom note A, so you can see, okay, there's a C sharp. Okay, that's probably an A scale. All right, let's keep going here. All right, here we actually have a chord. So we have, again, find the bottom note. That's a G note, G, B, D. That must be a G chord here. Okay, and then just keep going, recognizing those scales and chords. Let's do maybe one more. How about that? Let's do this one, the difficult one, maybe here. Okay, so after, let's just assume I went all the way, and that's where I came here. All right. So this example right here actually has only two notes, G, D, and G. So in this case, we kind of assume that's that G position. So if it's a G position, we'll just call it a G chord here, okay? Let's do maybe one more, the last one here. So this one, actually, it's called Alberti bass. We haven't really studied it in this book, but we're getting to it. So the notes are, there are four notes, right? So A, E, C, E. So if you just build them up like A, C sharp, E, right? So just think three notes instead of four. And then you can probably guess that's an A chord because it has a C sharp. Okay, well, see if you can finish it up all by yourself. Happy practicing.